welcome to our All Things Marketing episode, where we'll be answering the very important question of why your marketing isn't bringing in any leads. My name is Elisa. I'm the Director of Marketing at Search Realty, which basically means I help our agents to generate consistent, quality leads and market themselves online. I've been working in online marketing for over 10 years now, and I can tell you we have tried and experimented with a ton of different marketing tools and techniques. So I'm going to be condensing all of those years of experience into a quick and easy episode, sharing with you all the trials, all the errors, what you should focus on, what you shouldn't be focusing on, and most importantly, what is going to get you the best ROI. So return on investment is so important to calculate whether you're investing actual dollars into paid ads or paying someone to generate leads for you, or even spending time on organic marketing like social media, right? Time is money, especially as a commission entrepreneur. And if you're not spending your very limited and valuable time on things that will yield results, clients, closings, it's time to rethink your strategy. Now, I know it can be really hard and overwhelming when things are changing so quickly in the online marketing world. You have things like TikTok taking over the world, and I actually just heard recently that it's beginning to beat Google as a search engine. Gen Zs are actually going to TikTok first to search things before Google. So that is wild. But before we get into what's better, TikTok or door knocking, because they're both great for different reasons, it's important to first separate your marketing, real estate marketing, into two very important categories. So one, there's personal branding, and two, there's lead generation. So really quickly, before I dive in, personal branding is things that advertise you as a realtor, your brand, your face, your name, and why people should work with you. Lead generation, on the other hand, is generally unbranded. We have found that you can generate cheaper leads from unbranded content, so content not about you, but it's something that brings in consistent home buyers and home seller leads. So I'm not just talking about likes or follows here, I'm talking about actual contacts. People raising their hand, people giving you their contact information in exchange for something, right? People giving you their name, phone number, email address, home address, right? In the world of real estate, I think we can all agree that this is the definition of a lead. Someone who is interested, someone who's actively looking to buy or sell, someone you can actually contact. So now, for some reason, I find that all realtors are always obsessed and only obsessed with the personal branding piece of marketing. A lot of realtors focus on only promoting how great they are, when in reality, you gotta realize that most buyers don't care. They don't care about you, and I don't mean to kill your egos here, but the truth is, in any industry, a buyer is only interested in what's in it for them, right? What are they getting? How can you help them? So for example, a seller doesn't really care that you won an award at your brokerage last year. They do care that maybe you can give them a tip to sell for 20% higher or sell 1 week faster than the other average listings out there, right? I find that realtors get their license and they spend all this money, all of their time, all of their attention on getting their face on every surface out there, right? They think spending money on a beautiful looking website, putting their face on billboards, then they can just sit back, relax, and wait for the millions to roll in. And obviously, in doing that, you're just gonna hear crickets, right? Now, I'm not saying that getting a website or having a really nice website is a bad idea. Of course not. But how are you going to drive traffic to that website? How are you going to get visitors to actually land on your website? And then once they're on your website, what is going to make them want to reach out to you, right? What is going to make them want to give you their name and their contact information? Because until we have their contact information, you don't have a lead. So someone coming to your beautiful website that you just spent thousands of dollars on is not a lead. Someone scrolling through your fabulous looking Instagram feed is not a lead. So a great example of actual lead generation, the most passive, meaning it takes none of your time. It brings in active home buyers, people actually looking to buy a home, is running Google search ads. So this is our bread and butter and our favorite way to generate leads at Search Realty. So an example of this would be coming up for specific search terms like, for example, Mississauga detached homes with a pool. So I'm going to pay Google so that whenever someone types in something like this, Google is going to show my link at the top of the results. Then when this person clicks on my link, this is going to take them to a web page full of, you guessed it, Mississauga homes for sale with a pool. And I'm going to make it so, this is very important, I'm going to make it so when they click around through the photos and information, a pop-up box appears that's going to ask them for their name, number, email, maybe even a few other important questions that's going to help me to help them. And they're going to have to fill out this form if they want to continue looking at more listings and more photos on my website. Now when the buyer completes that form on my website, I get a notification, or our realtors get a notification of a new lead in their database. And we set this up for our agents so that they're consistently getting these notifications on their phone every single day. So whether they're out showing homes to their clients or they're literally at home taking a nap, they are consistently bringing in new leads, new people into their database who are actively looking at homes for sale. Now, of course, there are other forms of lead generation as well. So, for example, providing educational ebooks or resources online where, again, a buyer has to enter in their information to get access to your download, to your resources that you have prepared to help them. Offering a free home evaluation is another great one for generating seller leads. So sellers will provide their contact information, their home address, some information about the home, and in return, you'll provide them with an estimate of how much their home can sell for. So all of these are great forms of lead generation. And of course, there's more traditional forms of lead gen, like cold calling or door knocking. And I'm not going to go too much into these. I think we all know how those work. And I will say that they do work as well as more modern online versions. Obviously, there are realtors making it work, making a career generating leads this way, but they are putting in a big time investment, right? And that might be fine in the beginning when you're not busy with clients or in those slower months. But how are you going to make time for that when you're busy actually working with all of the leads that you've generated? You're never going to be able to scale your business in a predictable way if you have to pause your lead generation every time you get busy. And if you're thinking, well, this sounds great, I'd love to make my marketing more passive, I'd love to turn it online, but I'm just not a techie person, I have no idea how to set up Google ads or ebooks or websites or email funnels, I would say to you that is totally fine. I would actually remind you that you work as a real estate agent. So focus on being a real estate agent. This is an easy piece to outsource in your business. At Search Realty, our agents are able to leverage our leads on demand system where they select the number of leads they want, the city they want those leads in, and their job is done until those leads start rolling in. And it's time for them to be the real estate agent, right? You have to look at what is the opportunity cost when you start focusing all of your time and efforts on being an online marketing genius. Think of it when you need new listings, when you need new photos for your listing, you don't go out and get a fancy camera. You don't teach yourself how to edit those photos and videos, watching hours of videos on YouTube. No, you simply pay someone to do a great job for you, and then you focus on negotiating offers, communicating with your seller, and doing what you're supposed to do, which is be a good real estate agent. So, of course, you want to understand what forms of marketing should you invest in, what forms of marketing should you implement, and what's going to yield the best ROI. That's why we're doing this episode. But don't get hung up on thinking that you have to do everything on your own in your business. So that is lead generation in a nutshell. Anything that is bringing in consistent contacts, and ideally those contacts are actively looking to buy and sell. And even more ideally, you're automating this process so that it continues to bring in consistent leads, even when you're not working or even when you're too busy to continue doing that lead gen piece on your own. So once you have your lead gen sorted out, you have a system that's bringing in consistent, regular, active home buyers and sellers, then and only then would I begin to focus on the personal branding piece. So in doing personal branding, you want to be always providing value, educating. That could be creating videos on social media. That could be farming an area with flyers of recent solds in the neighborhood. Anything that puts you, your brand out there so people can begin to know you as an expert realtor. Now, personal branding could bring in new leads to your business, but it will take more time, more nurturing of your audience or of your farming area before you can count on any leads, before you can count on any real ROI. It's going to take some time for those people to know, like, and trust you. So for example, if someone comes across your amazing, informative, entertaining Instagram, let's say, they may like the video, they may even follow you, but they're likely still far away from sending you an actual DM with their name, number, email, and the search criteria for the next home that they want to buy, right? So you got to think of it like we're so bombarded with ads and marketing online and in the real world. People have their own lives going on. So someone could see your flyer, could see your personal branding, or see your flyer in the mail, and then not really remember your face or name again, the next time they saw it. Not until they've been not until you have been consistently showing up on their doorstep or on their social media, are you going to build that brand recognition. I read somewhere that people need to see something like 11 times online before they're ready to buy. So, and that was even talking about probably a small e-commerce purchase like, buying shoes online. So that number is likely even higher if we're talking about getting someone to trust you enough to sell their home. So that is the only reason why I say to focus on and start your marketing with lead generation first, and then begin to layer on that personal branding piece that is going to nurture your audience, your sphere of influence, your friends, your family, so that when these people are ready to buy, you are the first person they think of because you have been consistently marketing your brand to them online, consistently positioning yourself as an expert in your field. So, what are some tangible forms of personal branding? So one, social media is probably my favorite here because everyone is already on there, right? We all have a slight social media addiction. Guilty, it's fine, we all do it. You likely already also have your friends and family already following you on there. So why not leverage the audience to build brand awareness? Now, when it comes to marketing yourself on social media, I want to go back to what I said in the beginning, that buyers and sellers don't care about you. I'm sorry, they just don't, right? They have their own lives, they have their own problems. They don't care about you as much as they care about what you can do for them. So whenever you're posting, think about that. What value am I sharing? And think about when you have those moments of I have no idea what to post online. Think about your day. Think about a recent day where you were communicating with clients, with leads, with buyers, sellers, and think about the questions that they had, right? Like, did they ask a question about what happens in a multiple offer situation? How long is it going to take for my house to sell given the current market conditions? How do I get pre-approved for a mortgage, right? Chances are if your clients or the people you're coming into contact have these questions, everyone else is going to have these exact same questions. The best content can be created by just speaking on things that you're already talking about in your day-to-day business. You might think it's common sense or it's not interesting, but that's because you're in it every day, right? This is new information to the average population of non-realtors out there. So it makes sharing on social media so much easier for you too when you're not worried about sitting down, planning, and creating this content as much as just documenting your day, right? Talking about what happened in your day already, but making sure to always be providing value. So for example, instead of just showing a photo of a house you showed today, maybe you can show a photo of that house you're showing today, but also share how much you think it's going to sell for and why. Or maybe you share a photo of the house you showed today and you share, if I was the listing agent of this house, I would have recommended that they did X, Y, and Z, so it would show better to potential buyers, right? Always giving that value piece, always educating, informing to position yourself as the expert. That is the goal when you're personally branding yourself as an expert in your field. Now, I can definitely do an entire episode on social media. So wherever you're watching this, if you have any questions, if you want to hear more on creating content on social media, creating reels, TikToks, promoting yourself on social media, let us know. I definitely have so much more I can share on this. So let me know your questions so I make sure we're answering them in a future episode. So wrapping up social media, obviously it's a great way to promote yourself. I will just set the expectation that it does take time. It takes consistency and relationship building with your audience before you're going to see any real good return on investment on social. So 100%, just like the lead generation, if you can outsource pieces of this to help your social media, do it. But I do want to see your face on there and really build that like, know, and trust factor, right? That's so important. People want to get to know you because they're going to be choosing you to be your realtor. So other forms of personal branding. This could be a million different things, right? Writing a blog, farming a neighborhood with flyers, billboards. You know, you can also farm an area online by setting up display ads or image ads with your brand online. So you can choose a target postal code and you can make it so that everyone within that specific area is seeing your face, your brand, your name online as they're scrolling through social media, as they're browsing through websites on their phone, on their tablets, on their desktops. Or another form of marketing branding that we do online for our realtors is called remarketing. So this is really powerful form of personal branding. Here is where we're going to create those image ads on social media, on websites, on blogs, on Google, on YouTube, but we're going to target your existing audience. So these are people who are already in your sphere. So maybe these are leads that you've already generated through your lead gen, or maybe if you don't have a database of leads yet, that's fine too. We can still target your friends, your family, your contacts, right? This is going to be a great way to build that brand familiarity, build that trust, and keep yourself top of mind in an easy, passive way so that when it does come time for them to make a move, you're still that face that's popping up on their phone, on their desktop, and you're the one that they're reaching out to when they are ready to make that big move. So I know there was a lot of information. Breaking it down again, we have basically two important forms of marketing. There's lead generation and there's personal branding. So which do I recommend? The answer is definitely both. But when you're just starting out, I would recommend starting with lead gen first. How are you going to get consistent leads coming in, filling your pipeline, and making sure that source never dries out, never slows down when you're busy? It's consistent, it's reliable, it's predictable, right? Because that's going to be the fastest way to get you an actual sale and get you the commission you need to reinvest and start building your personal brand. So once you've implemented the system, a flow of leads, then and only then would I start to build that brand awareness, that personal branding piece. So usually to our agents, we suggest this order. So leads first, social media second, then remarketing, which is a great passive way to brand yourself online, and then setting up some farmer area, some farmer marketing. That could be in person, that could be online as well. So that's not to say I think farming doesn't work or it's the fourth best form of marketing. It's just we suggest this order because this is going to be the fastest way to get you deals now, right? As a commissioned entrepreneur, that's your most important piece, right? What's going to get you active clients in your database right now? So leads, then social media, then remarketing to those database of leads and your network, and then start to build a farmer area. This is going to be the most profitable way to build your business. So I hope this was a valuable episode. Please send in any questions you have, any comments on this, any feedback, any future episodes you would like to hear from me, from the marketing team. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.